one of the big things that we've been pushing as far as a strategy lately has been the 2-1 buy down. And we first started with a lot of temp or permanent buy downs because people were unsure and rates are on the rise. Now we're pretty sure that we think rates are coming down in the following 6, 12, 18 months. I don't know. So a temporary buy down seems to work really, really good. And it really moves the needle on payment, right? I've got 3 clients that we've locked and are closing with 2-1 buy downs this month. And I know they wouldn't have bought without it. Like the payment was too far out of reach. And so this is a comparison scenario that we just did on a $700,000 compare, 5% down, just vanilla flavored type of purchase. These guys didn't have perfect scores, so they were at 7 and an 8, right? This is a real scenario that we put together that I removed the names to protect the innocent. You can see that payment would have been $53.50 basically. With a 3% seller paid buy down to get a permanent buy down to 6 and an 8, that payment drops by $439, right? So really moves the needle. It's substantial, but it still didn't get them where they needed to go. And so what we did was we bopped into the 2-1 buy down strategy where they would get 2% lower than the start rate or than the note rate. And then this scenario works out really good because then in year 2, this would be their scenario, right? So they would have a 6.125 rate. So the 5.125 start rate drops that payment by $860 a month, putting it well within the range of where the client needed to be from a payment perspective. And I told them, I shared the article with them from CNBC about Fannie Mae's outlook for 1 year, 18 months, whenever it's going to happen. But when rates get back into the mid 4s, and they said, could you show me that? And I said, you bet. So we add that on here. And then we show them, what does it look like when we refinance to a 4.5% interest rate? Whether it's a year, 18 months, I don't have the answer, but somewhere in this window of time. And that drops their payment even further than where they were already pretty comfortable with. We regularly get results of, oh my gosh, this tool is so great. I really like this. I like to be able to see the long-term and the short-term impacts, right? So it gives a very user-friendly visual of the monthly payment savings, but then you also dollarize the cost long-term. And these are adjustable, right? This is set for 6 months or 60 months, 5 years right now. But then you give somebody the 30-year overall impact of interest and mortgage insurance and show them the difference of what this looks like. It's very spectacular. People really don't see this in their mind until you put it in front.
I love the 1 year outlook and using what Fannie Mae is projecting rates to be next year, just to show people that, hey, this 7% rate is not what you're going to have for a long time. Super important that we show people that.
So, guys, the phrase we've all heard, date the rate, marry the home. This is a visual to support that conversation. Cody's like, hey, you're fixing in the purchase price. You're marrying this home. I don't know if he's saying that, but metaphorically he is. And then he's helping the consumer understand, but hey, the rate could change. You could date it. We could change it a year from now, 2 years from now. And so it's helping the consumer get comfortable. He's providing affordability solutions. And guys, there's an affordability crisis in America. Affordability is the biggest challenge for realtors, for mortgage professionals. He's solving to that. And then the fact that rates have spiked, he's showing, he's future casting what it could be. And so he's really solving one of the biggest challenges in the market today. Cody, before you go, I have to imagine that realtors really appreciate what you're doing and how you're not just closing loans on time. Those are table stakes, but you're helping buyers into escrow. Tell us from a realtor's perspective how your realtors appreciate this.
Yeah, I mean, they love it. And I mean, here's the thing, right? We're all in business to, get people what they want, and people want a house and they don't feel like they can afford it right now. So this scenario allows people to see a path to home ownership that they maybe otherwise couldn't see. And that, for me, that's what it's about, right? Like, I want to get as many people to buy homes as humanly possible in this window of time, because to echo Greg's point, we're going to look back on this as the time where people that were on the lower end of the price scale or needed lower down payment, didn't have money to cover a short appraisal or write a $50,000 non-refundable earnest money check, right? All the crazy, silly things that we were doing when rates were in the 2s and 3s to win offers for our clients. The people that just couldn't do that, this is their moment, right? This is their opportunity. And that's the realm I work in, right? Like, I don't typically do jumbo loans with 25, 30% down with 800 credit scores, right? These people are my people. Like, these are the people that I operate in most of the time. So we've been banging our head against the wall for the last 3-4 years, not winning offers because they were on the lighter end of the down payment spectrum, or maybe they had to use a VA or an FHA loan and they just weren't looked on as favorably. And I really feel strongly that, like you mentioned, our affordability crisis stems with not building enough homes for the number of household formations we have. We have a really strong underlying housing market, and you've seen it with the fact that the Fed has crushed demand momentarily. The supply is still not there, right? So demand will come back when rates come back. And so I'm educating our agents and our clients that this is their time to be able to get into a house while they can. We can refinance later and make it more affordable. But if you wait to jump back in the market until rates are back in the low fives, mid fours, you're going to be right back in that very crowded pool and not be able to get your offer accepted the same way we saw in 2020 and 21.